If you're feeling discouraged because your posts aren't getting hundreds of likes or because you didn't land a client at your last networking event, it's time for a perspective shift. Redefining success metrics means shifting our focus from the end results to the actions and behaviors that lead to those results. It's about recognizing and celebrating the small steps we're taking every day that move us closer to our goals, even if the big visible outcomes haven't materialized yet. Welcome to How to Quit Your Job, a mom's guide to creating a life and business you love. It's a podcast that helps working moms just like you optimize your time, manage your mind, and start a business that helps you create more freedom, flexibility, and yes, fun. I'm business and mindset coach Jenna Reichel, and I offer practical tips to help you ditch the 9-to-5. I've been exactly where you are, and I know what it takes to make the transition without trading one form of burnout for another. So let's get started. Hello, ambitious moms. I see you. You're pouring your heart into your business, juggling a million tasks, and wondering if any of it is making a difference. I'm sure you feel like you're doing everything right, but it also feels like nothing is happening. The late night strategy sessions, all those social media posts that seem to just disappear into the void, all of the networking events that don't immediately lead to sales or clients or really anything. It's exhausting and frankly, downright discouraging. But please know that every single action you're taking is building the foundation of your success, even if you can't see it yet. Every action is one tiny brick in your future empire. They say Rome wasn't built in a day. And actually, when I Googled it to see how long it took to build Rome, the internet said over 1 million days. You only need a fraction of that to build your business, but it's going to take consistent action. And most of that action will be without results. So today we're going to explore why consistency trumps immediate results. And I'm going to give you very tangible tools to keep that motivation fire burning bright. I want to start by talking about the idea of overnight success, because I think we all have some idea in our mind of how quickly things should happen in our business, and it can be incredibly discouraging. You scroll through social media, you're seeing other mom entrepreneurs crushing it with their 6-figure launches and viral posts, and here you are, feeling like you're running a marathon in flip-flops, pushing a double stroller uphill, while everyone else seems to be sprinting to the finish line in designer running shoes. Trust me, those overnight successes you're seeing, they're actually the result of countless unseen miles, blisters, and early morning training sessions that nobody posted about. They're the result of countless unseen hours of work, failed attempts, and persistent action. Success in business, especially when you're juggling the demands of motherhood, isn't about sprinting. It is all about endurance. It's about showing up day after day, even when you're tired, even when you're not seeing those immediate results. It's all about embracing that marathon mindset without the whole marathon part, because Lord knows my pelvic floor needs some adjusting before I'll ever be able to do one of those again. Building a business will take time, and it's not so much about the giant leaps and big wins where you're celebrating massive results. It's really continuing to take action even when it feels like nothing's working. One thing that's incredibly important, especially early on in entrepreneurship, is redefining what progress looks like for you and the business. Instead of measuring success by big visible wins like viral posts or major client signings, start celebrating the small, consistent actions you're taking every day, the ones that are in your control. Did you write a blog post while the baby napped? That's a win. Did you send out one pitch email between school drop-offs? That's progress. But here's where it gets really exciting. These small actions aren't just checkbox items on the to-do list, right? They're the building blocks of exponential growth. Each small action, each tiny improvement will compound over time. It's kind of like teaching your child to read. At first, it seems like an endless cycle of sounding out letters. struggling through simple words, and rereading the same board books night after night. Progress is painfully slow. Some days it feels like you're not making any headway at all, but you keep at it, right? Day after day, bedtime story after bedtime story. Then almost magically, your kiddo starts recognizing words on their own. They pick up a book and read a whole sentence. Before you know it, they're devouring chapter books and you're amazed at how far they've come. But what once seemed like a mountain of small, often frustrating efforts has blossomed into this amazing skill that opens up a whole new world for your child. Adley's at a stage right now where he's recognizing letters, and it literally blows my mind. He can actually go to his bookshelf and find the book he wants to read now. I remember not long ago, he was just mindlessly pulling out books. What's important in this is that small improvements over time are incredibly powerful. And I just love the concept of continuous improvement by James Clear. He's the author of Atomic Habits, which is a must-read. He says, if you get 1% better each day for 1 year, you'll end up 37 times better by the end. Imagine if you committed to posting about your business every day for the next year. By the end of the year, your posts would be 37 times more effective than when you started. Similarly, there's a Japanese philosophy called Kaizen that focuses on continuous incremental improvement in all aspects of life. It's based on the idea that small, consistent changes over time can lead to significant and lasting improvements. And those same philosophies and principles apply to your business. It's not about making huge leaps forward every day. It's about making tiny improvements that compound over time. And just like consistent action can make us exponentially better, not being consistent can really backfire. So let's say you committed to learning a new language or a new hobby like yoga. Imagine each week spending 1 hour with an instructor. 52 hours over the course of a year will absolutely improve your language comprehension, or if it's yoga, you'll definitely be more flexible after 52 sessions. But let's say you get sidetracked and are inconsistent. Maybe you do 1 or 2 lessons a month, or maybe you go months without and then cram them all in with, big gaps in between. It will feel like starting over every time you meet with that instructor. You absolutely won't feel as flexible or as fluent if you aren't more consistent. This valuing of incremental gains is game-changing because it takes the pressure off the need for immediate big results. Instead of feeling discouraged when we don't see instant success, I want you to trust in the process, knowing that each small action is contributing to your long-term growth. I also want to talk about setbacks. When you understand that success is built on countless small actions rather than a few big wins, setbacks become valuable data, not failures, right? Every no you get, every post that doesn't perform well, every product that doesn't sell out, these aren't signs that you're failing. They're invaluable pieces of information that can actually help you refine your approach and get closer to what does work. Maybe you try a different subject line in your email if the open rate is low. If only 2 people show up to your webinar, maybe you spend some time shifting how you market and tell people about it for the next one. This data is incredibly valuable, and I want you to see it that way because seeing it in this new light will actually make it more fun and exciting to keep taking action rather than avoid it altogether with the assumption that nothing is working. Hey moms, just jumping in real quick. If what I'm sharing resonates with you and you're ready to make real changes in your life, I'd love to support you. Through my one-on-one coaching program, I help moms just like you create the strategy and accountability needed to build a business and life you love. Ready to explore what's possible? The link to apply for a free strategy session is in the show notes. And if you're not quite ready for coaching, please join our free Mom Entrepreneur Circle, a community of moms who get it. All the links are waiting for you in the show notes. Go to jenna.coach/episode number to check it out. Now, let's get back to today's episode. Okay, I want you to think about and decide on one small action that you can commit to weekly that will compound over time. Maybe it's reaching out to one potential client each week or going to one networking event each week. Maybe it's creating one post or blog. And maybe it's learning a language or doing yoga, right? Trust me, consistency is a skill. So even if you can't think of something business related, if you just commit to something and stick with it, you're building that consistency muscle. If you're struggling to come up with meaningful action you can take on a daily or weekly basis, I have a great free PDF resource that I'll include in the show notes. It's called 54 Actions to Take in Your Business, and it's all about small steps, the 1% we're talking about, that help you to build that consistency muscle. So check it out and get some inspiration from over 50 ideas in that PDF. Just go to jenna.coach/19 because this is episode 19. Now, let's talk about something that trips up even the most determined of us: how we measure success. If you're feeling discouraged because your posts aren't getting hundreds of likes or because you didn't land a client at your last networking event, it's time for a perspective shift. Redefining success metrics means shifting our focus from the end results to the actions and behaviors that lead to those results. It's about recognizing and celebrating the small steps we're taking every day that move us closer to our goals, even if the big visible outcomes haven't materialized yet. And why is this so important? First, it keeps us motivated. When we're only focused on the wins, we might go days, weeks, or even months feeling like we're not making progress. And this can lead to burnout and, of course, giving up on ourselves and our business. But when we celebrate small actions, we give ourselves regular doses of encouragement to keep going. Secondly, it gives us more control, right? We can't always control whether someone decides to buy from us or whether a post goes viral, but we can control our own actions. So by focusing on what we can control, we reduce stress and stay empowered. The last thing is that it helps us build sustainable habits, similar to the concepts that are in that book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Success isn't about one-time big wins. It's about the consistent action over time. So by redefining our metrics, we're reinforcing the behaviors that will lead to long-term success. So what does this look like in practice? It means creating new action-based success metrics. And I'll give you a few tangible examples that might help drive this home. So when we're thinking about marketing, instead of focusing solely on likes and comments, celebrate consistent posting and consistent content creation. Set a goal for the number of posts you'll create each week, regardless of immediate engagement. Quality and consistency will pay off in the long run. Another example I love for marketing is thinking about webinars. Stop judging success on how many people are in the room or how many people sign up for your offer at the end. Judge success by how many you do each year and how well you deliver the content time after time. And yes, if no one shows up the first time or second time, just like I said before, use that as a data point and pivot how you market and talk about the webinar each time to figure out what works. When we're thinking about networking, rather than getting frustrated that you left a networking event with no immediate clients, count the number of meaningful conversations you had or business cards you exchanged. Set a goal to follow up with a certain number of new people each week. Track the number of coffee meetings or virtual chats you schedule as a result of your networking efforts. These relationships are seeds that may blossom into partnerships or clients down the line. You just never know. And in episode 7, I talk all about the power of networking and even provide an Excel document that helps with creating these types of metrics for networking. So go to jenna.coach/7 to get that resource. The other thing is, when we're thinking about product or service development, instead of fixating on sales numbers right away, celebrate milestones in your creation process, right? Did you finish outlining your course? Did you write the final chapter of your ebook? Complete a beta test of your new coaching program. These are all wins, and these are all things that are within your control. So think about the things that you're doing that you're feeling discouraged about because maybe you, quote, aren't seeing results. Come up with new measurements that are all within your control. Don't let them depend on someone else's actions. We want it to depend on your action, not something external of you. When we look for external results, we give away our power, and that can feel really discouraging. Taking action without seeing the immediate results is like planting a seed in a garden. And I know I've used this analogy before, but it's just so good. You don't see the seeds sprouting right away. But trust me, there's a whole lot happening beneath the surface. And what's most important is that if you go digging up the seeds or no longer watering or caring for the ones that you already planted because you just assume that it's not working, you're creating so much more work for yourself. And yes, then the plants probably won't grow. Every time you show up, every time you put yourself out there, you're building skills, awareness, and momentum. Your copywriting improves with each email you write. Your pitching gets smoother with each discovery call. Your confidence grows with each networking event you attend. And here's something else to consider. Each interaction, even if it doesn't lead to an immediate sale, is building your brand awareness, right? That person you chatted with at the coffee shop, they might not need your services now, but they could recommend you to a friend next month. Now, let's put a bow on this conversation by talking about the big picture, building your empire. And I want to talk about meaningful action every step of the way. Because here's the thing, not all action is created equal. There's a big difference between productive consistency and what I like to call comfortable hiding. Posting on social media every day, that's consistent. But if you're not engaging with your audience, reaching out to potential clients, or actually selling your services, you might be hiding behind your keyboard. The key is to ensure that your daily actions are actually moving you forward and towards your goals, not just keeping you busy. This often means doing things that feel a little uncomfortable, having sales conversations, putting yourself out there in front of a camera, or reaching out to that dream collaboration partner. Those actions might give you butterflies, but they're the ones that truly build your business and move you forward. And like I always say, if you aren't feeling a little sick to your stomach most of the time, you're probably not doing it right. And I know I talk about social media as an example a lot in this episode, but I want to be really honest and say that more often than not, social media is a waste of time and energy. Yes, we want to make sure we're building brand awareness, but you have no control over the algorithm or how many people see your posts. Time is much better spent in one-on-one conversations or getting people in a room with you live so you have more control over what's being heard. So I want you to ask yourself, is how I'm spending my time in the business what will lead to clients or sales or revenue, right? If the answer is yes, go ahead and create a plan to stay consistent with whatever you're doing. If the answer is no, write down 5 to 10 small tasks that directly contribute to your larger business goals. Make sure each one involves a bit of productive discomfort, right? Something that pushes you outside of your comfort zone. And I also want you to identify one hard thing you've been avoiding and commit to tackling it this month. Maybe it's sending that pitch email or being a guest on a podcast for the first time. Whatever it is, promise yourself you'll do it. And again, go to jenna.coach/19 so you can get your hands on the list of 54 actions you can take in your business. You can also access the transcript to this episode on that page in case you want to copy and paste some of the action items I talk about and maybe put into your own little separate quit my job file, right? Okay, moms, let's bring it all together. Remember, your business isn't built overnight, but it is built with every small action you take. Every email sent, every conversation, every skill you learn is a brick in your empire, right? Focus on consistent, meaningful action. And if that action can lead you directly to your big goals, that's even better. redefine your success metrics to celebrate the small wins. I want you to recognize and honor the invisible progress you're making every single day. And always push yourself to take those courageous steps that truly move your business forward. Check yourself and really be honest about when you are just wasting your own time and doing things that don't actually move your business forward. You've got this, and I'm here to help you every step of the way. So keep tuning in for more strategies to build momentum and create the business of your dreams. And stay tuned because I'll also be featuring some amazing experts on the podcast, moms who built businesses themselves and who have guidance to share in their zone of genius that will absolutely inspire you, just like it inspired me just speaking with them. Okay, until then, keep taking those small, powerful actions, and I will see you next week. Before we wrap up today's session, I want to talk to the mom who's been nodding along, feeling seen and understood. Maybe you've been thinking about leaving corporate and building your own business, but you're not sure where to start, or if it's even possible with everything else on your plate. I'm here to tell you it's possible. I've helped moms go from a vague business idea to replacing their corporate income, and I've supported others in discovering their passion and signing their first client, all while balancing working in corporate and balancing family. My one-on-one coaching program is intimate support and helps you develop the strategy and accountability you need to move your business forward. As a mom myself, I understand the unique challenges we face in prioritizing our own needs, and that's exactly why I specialize in working with moms just like you. If you're ready to explore what's possible, there's a link in the show notes to apply for a free strategy session. This isn't a pushy sales call. It's a genuine conversation to see if we're a good fit for each other. And if you're not quite ready for one-on-one coaching, you can join our free Mom Entrepreneur Circle, a supportive community of other moms who are on this same journey. The link to join is in the show notes as well. Remember, you don't have to figure this out alone. Whether it's through the podcast, our free community, or working together one-on-one, I'm here to help you create a life and business you love. Now go take that next step. Whether it's big or small, just take it. I'll be here next week with more strategies and support to help you along the way. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of How to Quit Your Job, a mom's guide to creating a life and business you love. If you want to learn more about how I can help you stop making excuses and start making moves, head on over to www.jenna.coach. I'll see you next week.